Hello and good morning, Facebook world. I hope that you are doing well today on Thursday, July 18th. First of all, I'd like to give a shout out to my younger brother, Rick. I want to wish you a very happy birthday. I hope you have an amazing, amazing day today. And I hope that you all are having a really great day. I woke up today. Again, like I said, I choose every day to start my day with an attitude of gratitude to help navigate my day so that it's the best day possible. My name is Leslie Godet, and I'm an empowerment coach. And what I do is I help my clients get a handle on their mental clutter so that they're freed up to pursue their dreams and aspirations and turn their visions for their lives into their realities. Before I get started, I just want to invite on a couple of friends just to let them know I'm here. And if they want to hop on, great. But I just wanted to again, today is day two on my journey and what I've been doing with my life. And it was this was an invitation from someone, I should say, a request from someone for me to actually tell a little bit about my backstory and how I got to where I'm at. So today I wanted to cover mental clutter and myself and how it affected me and how I was able to take back control of my headspace. It was really important to let you know backstory. So yesterday I talked about a little bit about that, and I just want to dive deep a little bit more today. I come from I was in the corporate world when I was much younger. It was so hilarious. But I'll have to give you I'll give you an idea of what I was thinking. So before finishing high school, someone asked me, well, what are you going to do with your life after high school? And I really did want to go on to college. You know, a lot of my friends were going on to college, and that was their experience. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to partake in that endeavor. So I missed out on that part of my life, and that's okay. I'm not looking back with any negativity or any regrets because my life is great. So everything that's happened, good and bad, has brought me to this place, and I'm happy where I'm at. But so going back to that, someone asked me, it's actually a friend of my mom's who happened to be in the field that I actually chose. So she asked me, what do you want to be when you finish school? And I said, well, I either want to be a legal secretary, because that's what they called them back then, or I want to be what do I call it, a therapist, like like some type of therapist. And it was a psychologist or something like that is what I think I said. And I thought, wow, like two completely different, not even remotely close in any way of what I decided, what I wanted to be. And my mom's friend had said to me, oh, please don't choose being in the legal field. It's awful. If I could at least give you a word of warning, do not go there. But I chose, that was ultimately my choice. And so I did get out into the working world, and I didn't dive into becoming, getting into the legal world right away. I basically was a year. Hi, good morning. Thank you for joining. It was the first year of being out of high school, and I started working for this company that made tiles, ceiling tiles. You know, the fire. I forget what the word is I'm looking for, but the tiles that are in the ceilings of workspaces, like commercial offices. Those were what the company I worked for. That's what they were known for. That's what they made. And so here I was working at this place, and unfortunately, I was going through an experience of something which was really hard at the time. I was 18 years old, and I was being harassed by one of the salesmen. And he didn't stop. He wouldn't stop. And I would go to I would go to like his supervisor. I would go to the owner of the company, and I'd say, look, it's inappropriate, the things that he's saying to me. And not only was he saying things to me, which I don't even want to repeat, but he was saying them in front of clients, in front of other people, thinking it was funny and it was okay. And it wasn't okay. So because of that, I ended up leaving that job. I'll give you another thing. He came to my house one day, like he just showed up out of the blue. And I thought, this is scary. Like, who the heck do you think you are? So anyhow, long story short, I ended up quitting that job and found another job working at a place where I was still only working part-time at that time. I was still living at home. So that was good. My bills weren't as high. But I was still living at home and I was answering the phones. I was a receptionist for a building that had, I believe, about 12 tenants. And I was answering switchboard. And happened to notice that one of the phones was ringing more than the others. And it was this attorney who was in real estate. So I was just super assertive and brave and went to him and I said, I noticed that your phones are ringing a lot. And I was curious if you're looking for anyone, if you I don't have a background in this, but I'm super willing to learn and I'm motivated and I would love to be able to work with you if you're interested. And he ended up hiring me. So I started working part-time for him in the afternoons and then eventually transitioned into working full-time for him and somebody else took over the switchboard. And so I was with him for 7 years and it was really great because I got to learn hands-on about working in a law office and learning about real estate. So my point being is that I decided to go into this field where I was told to stay away from. I eventually, although I didn't go seek it right away, it ended up happening. So fast forward quite a few years, I've been in different companies, knowing that, I actually did seek out one of the bigger law firms in Toronto, Canada, where I was growing up, because I realized that the age of computers and everything, I wanted to make sure that I was moving forward with the times and learning those things. So got into a great company, great money, great benefits, the training, all of that, everything I needed. And a few years later, I meet my husband and we get married, and 6 months later, we moved to Florida. So there I then had to find another job and I had never worked in the US and I had no idea what there was out there, but I ended up finding a job working for a lawyer who was a guardianship lawyer. And I worked for him only for 3 months and I really didn't like it. So I ended up going to work for somebody else who was in the mortgage industry. And so in the mortgage industry, I was only there for 3 months because it was a company out of New York who had a satellite office in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale. And I guess it just wasn't working out and they ended up closing down the office. But out of that, I got a connection through to a couple of lawyers who had a title company. And because I had the law background, they wanted me to come work for them and work for the lawyer, mainly helping him with his law practice, and then also working in real estate. So I learned all about title insurance and all of that stuff. So it was really cool. And I was really super excited for this. And I worked with them for many years. And then I ended up working for a couple of other law firms for a couple of years while I was still in Florida. And then we ended up ultimately moving back to Canada, back to Toronto. And I ended up, again, in the years that we were there, I believe 6 years that we stayed back in Canada from 2008 to 7 years, 2015. And so I worked in different law firms because we had moved a few times while we were back in Canada. Fast forward back down to San Diego, that was tough. I ended up working for someone who was horrible. And I don't typically like to say anything negative about past employers, but I have to say this man was horrible. He made my life a living hell, and I'm not the only one that he did that to. But that's fine. Whatever. That was my choice because I chose to work there and I chose to be in this field, in this industry. So a few years prior to I'm still working in legal. I'm still, I'm now working as a paralegal and I'm still doing this and I'm thinking, there's got to be more to life than this. It used to give me such joy. I had such passion in working in law, but over the years, I just realized the more money you want to make, just so you know, when you get into certain career paths, the more money that you want to make, it seems that they want you to work so much harder, to work you like a dog. And a lot of the time, they don't want to pay you what you're worth. And that was so stressful to me. And I was dealing with so much, like my mental clutter, meaning I was putting in so much information from work because I always try to do my job to the best of my ability. So I always try to learn and make sure that I'm doing what I need to do. But on top of that, I just found that there was just so much other stuff coming in, and then trying to have a healthy relationship with my husband made it difficult too. And because I was always working and I wasn't happy. And so finally I got the break I thought I was looking for, and that was to work with in the health and wellness industry, and was introduced to a company called Arbonne, which I absolutely love their products. I love their message. But the business side of it was not really resonating with me, and I was trying so hard to do that. So I then realized once we moved here to Vegas, which is a little over a year ago, April 2018, actually, we came here in March, believe it or not, and we just said, we're going to move here. And we did it like we knew in December of 2017 that we were moving in 3 months to Vegas. Like we just really just all of a sudden did it, but we did it right this time, and we made sure we had a place to live. And my husband, what he does for a living, so he was able to get his works solidified. And for myself, I was able to do that as well, making sure that I had something to fall back on. And so through the year, once we moved here, I realized, okay, I can breathe now. I finally was able to breathe. I took the first step, which was getting out of working 50, 60-hour on average weeks, having a commute 1 hour each way every day. Sometimes I was working on the weekends, so I had no life, to moving here and what I wanted to do was on my terms and having the lifestyle I wanted. So then I realized, okay, now what do I do? How do I deal with, still I have mental clutter, because all of that, the residual effects, or that, it's still like echoing to me, like the things that happened. And so I realized I've got to start doing something. I've got to start taking care of me. And so how I was able to take back control of my headspace really was all based on putting myself out there and meeting people, and the right people leading me to ways of helping myself. I don't know if you've heard of the book, The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. If you haven't, I highly recommend it. This man, he almost died, like literally was on death's bed. After what happened to him, I am so shocked, but I'm pleasantly and happily surprised at how his life has turned out because of what he went through. And I thought, if he can do this, and he has this method, and I can work this into my lifestyle and it will help me. Wow. So he calls it the morning routine, and it's really amazing what this has done for my life. My mental headspace, like my headspace is clear. I have clarity and I have focus because of this. And what do I do? So I have my morning routine. This is what I'm talking about. This is what really helped me take back my headspace, was my morning routine, making it non-negotiable, making it all about me. And you might not be able to do all of this in the morning, so just spread it out throughout the day, but make sure that you make yourself a priority. So the first thing I do in the morning after my main thing, which I have to take my dog out, I have to be responsible for a baby mom. So I do that, I feed him, and then I go to the gym. And when I'm at the gym, it just really feels good, to just really get my heart going and just get the blood pumping, and you just feel really good. And while I'm there, I'm listening to something, either an audiobook or a podcast. Typically, I'm listening to 4 different podcasts. One is Be That 1%. James Silves, he's always got great, amazing content. The second one I'll listen to is another local one here in Vegas, How to Be a Baddie by Ashlyn Tufin Sommer, and she's really amazing. She's always, they're short, sweet, to the point. She doesn't make them, I don't believe they're longer than 10 minutes, but they're really good. And I can always learn from someone who's younger than me. I have no problem. As long as they line up with my core values, which are really important to me, and they're a really good person at heart, and I can see it, I can learn from them. And then I listen to Tony Robbins, who's always got great people on. I listened to one recently with Kevin. Oh my gosh, I forget his name now. That's crazy. But I listened to a couple podcasts with him. The most recent one was Conor McGregor, who's the MMA fighter, and unbelievable his story. But he's also got something great to give back to the community and the things that he's doing. And so I listen to Tony, and I love the people that he brings on. He's always got a positive message. He's had some really great people on, so I listen to that. And then I also listen to Dean Graziosi, who I got introduced to him through his book, The Millionaire Success Habits. Love the book, highly recommend it, and highly recommend his podcast. So those are the 4 ones that I usually typically gravitate to. I also have another one that I've been listening to. It's another friend of mine. She's taking a little hiatus right now, so I'm not going to mention the name of the podcast, but I really love it, and hopefully she'll be back on soon. But yeah, so that's what I do when I'm at the gym. And then when I get back home, I'm doing my meditation. So I'm getting myself grounded. I'm getting myself focused. So whether it's around gratitude, whether it's around joy, whether it's around mindfulness, whether it's around focusing, just getting right with myself, that really helps me. And then my I am statement, which is 5 sentences, which I put together about me, that I truly believe about myself. Now, in the beginning, I didn't, but I truly knew that was who I was going to be. That's who I saw myself as being. And the more I said it, the more I started to believe it. And it's just, I love saying it every day. And then my affirmations, those are important. Those are all just uplifting, encouraging affirmations, not necessarily about me specifically, but they're geared towards making me feel good about myself. And then my gratitude journal, which is super important, to journal out what I am grateful for, who I am grateful for, my life. Like, I'm grateful for so many things. I'm blessed beyond, like right now, I am so blessed. I might not have everything that other people are striving for. I might not have everything that I'm striving for right now. But what I have right now, I am good. If it was only to end like this was how my life was going to be, I am good. Why? Because I am blessed beyond belief. Like, my lifestyle right now is amazing. It's beautiful. Yes, I want more because I want to reach more. I want to have a bigger footprint, not for myself, but for you. I want to be able to serve the community. And so that's why I'm striving for more. So yeah, having my gratitude journal has been great. And then, but at the end of the day, I also make sure that I journal out my day, what happened, so I can celebrate my wins. Anything that I've accomplished that was great. Like, we all do every day, but we tend to forget those things. Why? Because something will happen during the day that will maybe piss you off or set you off. And you could have been in the best mood, and all of a sudden something happens and snap, just like that, you're completely in a bad mood, or you're depressed or upset or whatever that is. And you've forgotten all of the great stuff that happened prior to that moment. So that's why I like to, at the end of my day, journal out what happened so I can celebrate my wins. So again, this was how I was able to take back control of my headspace, because I was able to figure out what works for me to get me in the right mindset. And because mindset is so important, it's the key ingredient for your day to go either great or not so great. If you can at least, and look, I know our days are not going to always be perfect. Things are going to happen. Life is just going to happen, and things can change. Circumstances can change. All of a sudden, something out of the blue happens. It could be negative, but it's how we are right now in our own space and our own self, how we look at ourselves, how we navigate our lives. That's what's important. Because then when you feel good about yourself, you're able to navigate your day, and whatever life throws at you, you're able to handle it. That's it. That's how I was able to take back my headspace. So I hope this was helpful for you to hear today. And maybe you know somebody who maybe needs to hear this, just to hear my story and what I did what works for me. Maybe it works for you. Let me know, does it work for you? What is your daily routine? What is your morning routine? Do you even have one? Do you know why it's important? I want you to think about that and drop me a line, right in the comments box below. Just let me know what you're thinking and what you're feeling. And like I said, I hope this was helpful for you to hear, because it is important to have a healthy headspace so you can go through life, right? So that life is, a little more manageable than just letting life happen to you. Letting life happen for you is better. Like, I would like things to happen for me because I am putting the conscious effort into doing what I need to do. So my name is Leslie Vedette. I am an empowerment coach, and I help my clients get a handle on their mental clutter so they're freed up to pursue their dreams and aspirations and turn their visions for their lives into their realities. And you can too. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.